the amount of money that you've said you've lost gambling. You wrote you've lost $55 million gambling over the years. How's that even possible?
He had the swing, he had the swagger, and for a while he owned the spotlight. But behind every powerful shot was a man losing control. This isn't just the story of a golfer, it's the downfall of someone who blew through millions, broke the rules, and left a mess on every course he played. He didn't just play the game, he challenged it. Fame made him a star. Chaos made him unforgettable. He once admitted to losing between $50 and $60 million, not in bad investments, not in failed business ventures, in casinos, slots, tables, private rooms. He knew them all. He confessed to losing $1.5 million in a single session. Another time, he played the slot machines for more than 2 days straight. No sleep, no food, just flashing lights and the dull roar of addiction. In his own book, he wrote, "I should have been 60 million richer." But the money was never really the point. Gambling was an escape, a distraction, a thrill that golf could never give him. Even after sponsors dropped him, even after bankruptcy filings, he returned to the tables. It was a high he couldn't quit. One quote, simple and devastating, still echoes. "It's fun losing money when you don't care." That wasn't bravado. It was true. By then he didn't care, or maybe he couldn't. Casinos loved him. He got comped rooms, VIP treatment, red carpet welcomes. But it wasn't glamour. It was a trap dressed as luxury. Friends tried to pull him back. Some begged him to walk away. But the thrill of the chase drowned out every warning. He once admitted to feeling more alive losing a fortune than winning a title. That truth was hard for fans to hear. Fans began to notice he was different, not in the swing, not in the score, but in his eyes. He was often hungover, sometimes visibly drunk. During practice rounds, people saw him sipping what looked like Diet Coke, but those close knew better. It was vodka. He entered rehab multiple times. Some stints lasted just days. Other times he walked out before even checking in. The denial was loud. The behavior is louder. In 2008, the spiral hit another low. He was found unconscious outside a Hooters in North Carolina. The police jailed him overnight. The mugshot hit the press like wildfire. For the PGA Tour, it was too much. Officials quietly told him he was no longer allowed to drink at events. It was a silent ban, a message wrapped in mercy. For every drive he bombed down the fairway, one commentator said, he took another step towards self-destruction off the course. That line became a haunting truth. What made it harder to watch was the charm that stayed intact. He could be disarming, hilarious, even while teetering on the edge. Fans didn't know whether to cheer or worry. Teammates weren't sure whether to trust or distance themselves. The duality became part of his legend, brilliance blurred with breakdown. He was married 4 times. Each relationship is more volatile than the last. His second wife filed assault charges. Both claimed domestic violence. Courtrooms became battlegrounds. Headlines followed. His third wife, Sherry, made things even messier. She was later sentenced to federal prison for drug trafficking and money laundering. Public custody battles turned private pain into national drama. One quote summed up his pattern. "My wives always said I married golf first." Maybe he did. But what he gave to the game he took from everything else. The press didn't miss a detail. Paparazzi followed custody exchanges. Tabloids splashed stories across their front pages. For a sport built on quiet precision and image control, his life had become chaos. Still, he played on. The course was his last sanctuary, even if that too was beginning to slip. The PGA Tour began to lose patience. Behind the scenes, they labeled his behavior conduct unbecoming of a professional. Suspensions came. Quietly, repeatedly. He once walked off the course mid-round at the 2011 Australian Open. After hitting every ball into the water, he simply left. No explanation, no apology. He was fined for damaging hotel rooms, for skipping pro-ams, for throwing clubs. He missed tee times, showed up without practice. Some private clubs banned him outright. His volatility had become a liability. He broke every rule golf had, and some it didn't. Some within the tour believed he wanted to be caught, that he was pushing the boundaries to see when the system would finally say no. But others saw a man slowly losing the structure that once kept him afloat. He never hid behind an image. If anything, he flaunted the flaws. He smoked up to 2 packs a day. He lit cigarettes between shots, during interviews, while signing autographs. His diet was another rebellion. He once claimed he never drank water, lived on Diet Coke and M&Ms. While fitness culture swept through the sport, he laughed. "I don't work out. If I see a treadmill, I walk the other way." It wasn't just arrogance, it was an identity. He refused to conform, refused to pretend. But the toll was coming. He proudly bucked the trends that took over the modern game. While others hired nutritionists and strength coaches, he doubled down on instinct and raw talent. And for a while, it worked. But nothing lasts forever, especially not in professional sports. By the 2010s, his skills began to fade. He lost his PGA Tour card, moved to the Champions Tour where former stars played in later years. Even there, he struggled. Cuts were missed, rounds unfinished. He became more of a sideshow than a competitor. Fans still came, but not for golf. They came to see the legend, the rebel, the man who had once held so much fire. He never truly accepted the decline, but the game moved on. Occasionally, he showed flashes of his old brilliance, a miraculous putt, a monster drive. But those moments became rarer, and the man who once seemed untouchable now looked tired. In 2020, he was diagnosed with bladder cancer. It was a quiet announcement, but the fight was anything but quiet. He underwent 16 surgeries. Some months required him to use a catheter. Others kept him off the course entirely. Then came a new complication, an emergency hand surgery in 2024 that forced yet another withdrawal. Today, he struggles to walk long distances. He rides a cart during appearances. The man once known for energy now counts getting out of bed as a victory. "Waking up is a win for me now," he said in 2024. The line was raw, honest, humbling. Friends say he is more reflective now, calmer. The wild spark hasn't fully gone out, but it burns softer. He signs autographs slower.
A lot less money in, or didn't get a marker for it. The slots, you could last a little bit longer. But the win came out with
Speaks quieter. And for the first time in decades, he seems to be listening more than performing. His story is not about golf. Not really. It is about how fame and pressure can mix into a storm. How the things that make you great can also pull you apart. He was a fighter, a rebel, a man who could light up a scoreboard and then light up a cigarette. He didn't want to be a role model. And maybe that was his most honest trait. But through it all, the losses, the scandals, the regrets, he remains unforgettable. A man who played golf his way and lived life without breaks. If this story gripped you, subscribe for more unfiltered looks at the legends of sport. Because behind every swing, there's a story. And behind every story is a life you never expected.